Okay, here is problem 4. Juan is 8 years older than his sister. In 3 years, he will be twice as old as she will be then. How old are they now? In other words, how old is Juan's now? What is Juan's age now? And we also want to know what his sister's age is now. So look over here again where I made those little notes. And I'm going to highlight them again. Maybe use the same colors. Maybe light blue for Juan's age. And maybe pink for his sister's age. Okay. Again, you don't need to use colors if you don't want to. So first, we want to write two equations. And let's do the first one and use this sentence right here, blow it up a bit, to write our first equation. Use this first sentence, Juan is 8 years older than his sister, to write our first equation. Now, for Juan is, we'll write J equals. J equals. And for 8 years older than his sister, we'll put sister's age plus 8, or S plus 8. Now, notice that I try to make my um, numbers larger than my letters because I don't want anybody to mistake that S for the number 5. That's a letter, not a number. Okay. In fact, I don't have to use colors for that. All right, so there's our first equation. I'm going to circle it. I'm going to surround it with a green so we can call it the green equation later. Okay. Now let's use another color. Let's say red to write another equation, which is going to come from this sentence here. In 3 years, he, Juan, will be twice as old as his sister will be in 3 years. I paraphrased it a little bit. In 3 years, Juan will be twice as old as his sister will be in 3 years. So what we need to write is Juan's age in 3 years. Juan's age in 3 years is going to be J plus 3. And his sister's age, let me write that. Juan's age in 3 years. You don't have to write the words here. Juan's age in 3 years, because I'm going to erase this in a minute. And his sister's age in 3 years. Sister's age in 3 years. Juan's age will be J plus 3 in 3 years. J plus 3. His sister's age will be S plus 3. Hold on a second. Now I'm going to put equals for just a moment here. They're not the same, but since it says that Juan's age in 3 years will be twice his sister's age in 3 years, this is Juan's age in 3 years. This is sister's age. This has to be multiplied by 2. It says Juan's age is going to be twice his sister's age. So those are the two equations that we need. Now I'm going to erase that writing. We're not going to need that anymore. Those little notes at the bottom here. We don't need this part anymore. Or this. Let's move these equations down just a bit. Um, okay. All right, and we'll call this the red equation. Since we have in that green box that J is the same thing as S plus 8, we're going to replace J with S plus 8. Now, I know I already wrote this, but I'm going to write it again. I'm going to write that equation that's in the red box now, J plus 3. And while I'm at it, I'm going to distribute. That'll be 2S plus 2 times 3, which is 6. And now I'm going to do what I just said. I see a J right here, so I'm going to replace it I'm going to erase it and replace it with S plus 8. So let me do that. Let me erase the J and put instead S plus 8. S plus 8. Okay. And now, even though it's a little bit longer equation, it's a little bit simpler because it only has one letter, one variable, the letter S. So I'm gonna wait just a second here. I'm gonna pause just a second. So if we simplify what we have here, right here we've got 8 plus 3, that's 11. So let me write S plus 11 is equal to 2S plus 6. And maybe we need a little more room, I think. So what I'm going to do now is get my variables on the same side. I'm going to subtract S from both sides. Minus S on this side and minus S on that side. These simplify and I get 11. That's weird. 11 is equal to S. 2S minus 1S is just S. We don't need to write the 1. Plus 6. Okay. And now, did I make a mistake? No, we're good. Wait a minute. I think I did make a mistake. Pause here. So since I've added 6, we want to do the inverse. We want to subtract 6 from both sides. And I still need a little more room here. Kind of small. But that will give us, that will allow us to cancel those. And once again, I want to say that this is an S, not a 5. And 11 minus 6 is 5. So that's, I'm going to use pink here because that's what we said we're going to use. So 5 is S, or S is 5. Okay. Now what we want to do is go back to the two original equations that we wrote. We wrote an equation in a green box, and we wrote another equation in the red box. Now we could use either the green box or the red box. Let's go ahead and use the green box. Seems a little bit simpler. The red would work fine. Let me write what's in the green box over on the side here. J, let's weird again. Autocorrects is what it does. I did it again. J is equal to S plus 8. But we just said a minute ago, that when we see the letter S, we're going to erase it and replace it with a 5. Well, we didn't say those words, but there it is right there. 5 is the same thing as S. Again, that's why it's tricky sometimes to use that letter, because it looks like a small 5, but that's the letter S. So I'm going to erase that pink S and replace it with a 5. So now we've got the second part of our answer, that J is equal to 5 plus 8 is 13. I'm going to highlight that with blue, because that's the other answer that we said we wanted. So yeah, up here you can see that J is 13, right? And Juan is 13, and his sister is 5. Those are our two answers, 5 and 13. All right, and leave that so it's big enough to see.